Hey, this is Jason Hill on the We Belong Here podcast. Today, I'm with Jules Becerra. We're going to talk from comedy to identity to a haircut. So before we do that, Jules, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, Jason. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I'm very excited to be here. I am a fellow student at the Harvard Ed School, and, you know, I'm just starstruck. Starstruck.
I hope by yourself, not because of me. Maybe is there a mirror behind me? Or
I'm watching how the magic happens, and it really feels surreal right now.
Yes. And so thank you for being here. And yes, I am so happy that you could join us. I'm going to ask you what I've been calling a timestamp question. And so we are now in the fourth week. It is wild. We're in the fourth week of the fall semester, fall 2023 at the Harvard Graduate School of Education. If you could use one or two words to describe how you're feeling, what would those one or two words be?
Oh, I was going to think about this beforehand. Okay. My one or two words would be really cool.
I like it.
I
would describe you like that. Yeah.
It can be both. I like it because it can be both genuine and sarcastic, which I do mean at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Because things are hard sometimes, and you're like, cool. The tea is on fire. Really cool. But then you're like, oh man, friends and lasting connections. Really cool.
I love it.
Thank
I
you.
love it. Cool and really cool. Are they?
No, it's just really and cool.
Oh, really and cool. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna tell that to someone later.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Please.
Really cool. Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah.
Let's get it going.
All right. I got you. And so one of the topics we talked about that we have mentioned was comedy. And so could we start by you telling us a joke?
You know, I thought long and hard about this. My first answer is going to be no, but then I thought that sounded mean. And then the second answer that came to mind was, I'll tell you a joke, group projects. But then I don't mean it. I don't mean it. Don't expel me.
Yeah.
I love group projects.
They can be hard, but yes. Yeah.
I understand the scientific backing behind them.
Yes.
But
So-
that's my entry, my joke entry.
Perfect. Look, I'm in a few group projects right now, and so I will laugh and say that if any of my group members are listening or watching, I'm not laughing at any of our groups. Yeah.
I like the group members. It's
Yeah.
just that we're all within this cage that
Yeah.
is this cruel confinement
my
of the
gosh.
group project.
Yes. Yep. They can be rough.
Yeah. But they can be really cool as well. So we can go either way. That's called a callback.
Yeah.
So comedy number one. Thanks for asking. Callback.
Yes.
So when you refer back to something you said before to be extra funny. I'm so sorry. What's the next question?
This is great because it was about comedy. What does comedy mean to you? How does it show up in your life and interact with everything? Like what? Yeah. Let's just start.
The first thing that came to mind was a Subway ad that I saw one time in Brooklyn. And I paused because I was like, I don't want to be disrespectful to religion, but it's not.
Yeah.
It was a quote about religion, but I'm going to apply it to comedy. And it was by like C.S. Lewis, you know how he's secretly super religious and like Aslan is Jesus or whatever. And the poster said, oh shoot, it was something about Christianity is not like the light. It isn't the light, but it is the light by which I see everything else or whatever. Anyway, I think of that as comedy because I think when you can take a goofier look at the world, or even the way that sitcom writers take unhappy situations and twist them or just tell them in a way that's funny. Like it's not enjoyable for the characters, but it's enjoyable for us. If you look at your own life that way, oh boy, it really does a number. It makes it better.
Yeah. So thinking of this, like switching the perspective, the narrative of the character and finding these moments of comedy. What are some of those moments in your own life that are connective when you say like this was comedic, and this is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think whether to put my own personal life on blast.
Oh,
maybe
not. I mean,
like,
something. No. Or yeah. So you use Subway and Narnia, which The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah. No, I can think of a less personal.
Sure. Yeah.
One thing, I think a big thing that I do a lot of material about, because I do stand up sometimes, and a big thing has been my old job, which was working 20-day trips in the outdoors, which, not only is it a baseline of like very dirty and like no privacy and not always happy per se, but it was also with students who didn't want to be there. And I have the utmost respect. Like, this is not putting them on the spot either, because it wasn't their fault that they got sent there. They ran into situations, they would get in trouble, and it was a behavioral intervention. So they were pissed to be there, and they were like, F you, F this. And understandably, I would be too. But when you take that and mix that all together of like students from the city who are like, what is this? And then happy-go-lucky kind of camp counselor-esque people who are like, hey guys, we're going to teach you about anger management. And you're like, get out of my face.
I'm angry.
It was amazing. But and they themselves are so funny. Like, I feel like people who have gone through things tend often to be funny, because that's just how you can cope with it and make it through. And so there were just a lot of funny times, even if they were at my expense. I think it's even funnier. That did not work out so well. So those are the ones that come to mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also at one point worked in the outdoor education world.
I literally did not know that until right now, Jason.
Yes. So and less of, it sounds like, at least from my knowledge of the many different ways that outdoor education takes form, you worked more in the like therapeutic and like what's this bubble? Yeah, because I'm like missing my terminology.
It's a great question, because there is something called wilderness therapy, which I actually have a bit about it, because it's I have friends who have worked for it, and I understand it, and it's often taking students who are going through a difficult time in their lives and putting them out in the woods as a sort of therapeutic intervention. However, there are certain organizations where the parents hire the companies to take their children in the dead of night, like a Dickens villain or the Grinch on Christmas, which is... What is why? Anyway, that happens. And again, I do know people who have worked for this, so I'm not throwing under the bus anyone who's ever worked there, because it's hard. It's been explained to me as like, these parents are at the end of their rope. These students are headed towards harm, like straight towards self-destruction. I get that, and it's still like, that's a hard. I don't know about that. Am I yelling?
No, you're. I mean,
I've
but
never
like,
heard myself so well. And I feel like you have this soft Michael Barbaro, and I'm kind of just like Gilbert Gottfried on here.
I love them both, but I love Ezra Klein even more.
They're the two wolves who live in my soul. And it's about which you feed. But I think, so anyway, so professional wilderness therapy often has mental health therapists or like professionals on staff. My organization sadly did not have that. Instead, it had 22 and 23-year-olds who were doing their darndest. No, we did get lots of training in trauma-informed care and what's the other thing where I'm gonna think of it. You can cut this while I think.
All right.
It's called
culturally relevant.
No, that's like it's like the thing interviewing, motivational interviewing, and like the intervention steps, the cycle. God. Okay, I'll pause.
Okay.
Everyone should know that I just feel I have COVID brain fog ever since a year ago, and I can't think of words anymore. But everything else is pretty clear, except simple words that I used to know, and now
Yeah.
they're just somebody that I used to know.
Yes.
That's it.
Somebody.
Thank you. Thank you. What were we talking about? Yeah. So
Yes.
in conclusion, you can cut all of that out.
I'm not cutting anything.
The conclusion is there's a thing called wilderness therapy. We were adjacent to that. We were a an outdoor behavioral intervention program, which is really hard to put on resumes and also explain what the heck we were doing.
So I see
there.
your resume here.
Like, what is that? You're like, oh, so you train alligators? I'm like, kind. I was in Florida also.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Which was a whole other thing. But yeah, so we were close to that and served the same purpose without, I would say, the resources that are necessary for that. And I can say this also because I have love in my heart for that program, and it did shut down, so it is no longer existent.
Got it. Got it. Yep.
That's the way.
Sometimes, those relationships are complicated. I like to, think of my time in the outdoor space as complicated.
We have to talk more. I can't believe I didn't know this until right now. It's fine.
I'm like elusive. Like
you are. Because you're, it's like who interviews the interviewer? Oh, I should have turned it around from the beginning.
Oh, maybe next
Jason.
time. Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about your deepest thoughts?
Maybe later, but first.
Cool.
Deflect. Yeah. But first, I really do want to ask you to help me connect two topics. You went to Harvard as an undergraduate student.
Ooh,
I just put you on blast. And imposter syndrome.
Oh yeah.
Help me connect those two and what they meant or mean, and maybe your journey within
they're
those.
one and the same. First of all,
okay.
Not to use memes too much. They are the same picture.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a thing. The tension for me has been not being a. Can I say dick? Like not being a dick.
Sure. Yeah.
Sorry, you can bleep it out. If you bleep me out, my numbers will skyrocket.
Oh.
What numbers? None. I have no online presence.
Hey,
but
we're gonna get you there.
Thank you. This will be my takeoff point. Between not wanting to, mention that straight up, like, oh, I went here for undergrad. Let me tell you, but also wanting to share the knowledge of like, hey, I did this once of that feeling of like, oh my God, Harvard, what in the world? What am I doing here? Is it a mistake?
Yeah.
Who am I? Look at these geniuses. Oh my God, they've accomplished so much. All happened when I was 18. I was like, oh no. And I did kind of have like a Barbara Streisand funny girl moment of like, oh cool, I'm never going to beat these people at that metric of like smartness or accolades or whatever. So I'm just going to go be funny because I like to do that. And I think I can do that. And that's kind of the direction I took it. However, something I also learned was how many people don't know anything. I don't know. Not to not to throw these kids under the bus. I love all of I loved the people I went to school with, and there's a ton of people there who don't know anything, and it's fine. And I feel like it's easy to see people and think they have it all figured out, and I think we've all heard this a million times. But even at Harvard, especially at Harvard, there's just so much face, it's everyone's just a regular, the thing about you see the swan gliding, but then if you look underneath you can see the little feet like floundering, flapping and doing all the work. Like everyone is like that, even the most genius people always. And that took me over 4 years to learn because I was like, haha, I'm just an idiot. And I was like, no, I'm not an idiot. Dang it. Like I know something probably. And everyone who's listening does too, and more than just, we belong here podcast. People keep saying you belong. But literally, if it helps to reframe it, it's like, okay, if you don't belong, no one belongs here. We're all together not belonging here. So it's fine. We're good. Ooh. And it's cool.
Absolutely. I have two questions. Did you just use a Simpson voice? And was my And secondly, how does this initial understanding, this shock and realization, allow you to show up now at the graduate level space?
Okay. In answer to Simpsons.
Yeah.
So at any given moment, I am just holding back a plethora of cartoon voices that I just try to maintain a face of normality because I only want to do voices and sounds all the time.
Yeah.
And they just burst forth sometimes when I can't keep it
Absolutely.
back.
Yes. I love that.
Second question was, what was it?
Yeah. So thinking when you're 18,
It's my brain fog.
your first shock to Harvard and use the
how is it different now?
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, I love the swan analogy.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
I usually think of a little duck too. It's like a goofy little duck. But yeah, I think it is different. I think it did make a big difference because I was still intimidated coming here because it's sort of a different flavor of impressive in that there's even more heart and more care and hard-earned effort. Because, a lot of the kids were 18 when we were going in. So it's like, you're a piano prodigy, but you haven't spent 12 years in the education. So, you didn't start a girls' school in this rural area or whatever that a lot of the people here have. So that's a different kind of like, whoa, okay, you've done all this. What have I been doing with my time? Which is one thing.
Right.
And again, fraught system of thought. But I think it did make it easier because I could look back at then and be like, remember, we're all humans. Oh, right. You can go up to anyone and say hi. And they're probably nervous too, et cetera, et cetera. And it did help to feel like, okay, I have come a long way. And even just by experiencing life for a little bit longer than coming straight out of high school is helpful. Like I have been through days of life and that's enough. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 100%. We all have so much, whatever that means for us to offer. And I personally haven't felt the stakes as high, but also have commented of like, wow, you are an impressive human being in terms of the impact and the intentionality and the communities that someone has been a part of. And so that has been very rewarding, I think, for me. And so a follow-up question, which is goofy, and I apologize, but could you maybe do your favorite character voice for us?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Opening can open. That's really hard. I would say my go-to is like Brooklyn, like Amanda show, like Tony Pajama, like that comes out a lot. And by the way, I just want to make a quick disclaimer that I don't think any of these accents are great. They're just ones that I do, and so I apologize, especially with like British, like that's not a good impression. But I do like to do it. Another favorite of mine is like the surfer boy, which is I guess really rooted in SpongeBob. I'm gonna cite that as my source because he leaves someone buried in the sand who then dies, and it's spoiler for SpongeBob episodes. And
I don't know. I'm like,
let me tell you about it. So basically, SpongeBob leaves one of the fish members of Bikini Bottom, their city, in the sand.
Whoa.
High tide comes in.
Oh no!
Yeah, you kind of forget about it, but then later when they're rattling off SpongeBob's, transgressions against them, the townspeople, they're all saying the different things he did, and then the ghost of that fish says, "He left me at high tide." So now let's just pause and notice that if you listening ever thought I was impressive or like a Harvard student, I just spent 2 to 3 minutes recapping SpongeBob on a graduate school podcast. So really, where does that put us? What is meaning?
Yeah.
Arts and Understanding. Catherine Elgin.
Arts and Understanding.
That's a class.
My gosh. Like,
she's amazing, by the way.
I'm like, who are you?
I'm sorry to desecrate her name by attaching it here. That's all.
Yes. At another time, I will share with you a funny ask that I ask of people of like, tell me what you think this would sound when this happened, and it's silly, and so I'm gonna stop peppering you with the silly questions at the moment.
No,
but
those are my preferred questions.
Yeah. All right, so maybe I'll ask and we'll move on. So I used to like to ask when I worked in the outdoor space,
Cute.
To picture when cave people first started their own fires, what is the first sound that comes to your mind that they made and make it?
When they made the fire, like
Yeah,
what they made.
yeah.
When
they made the fire.
Oopsie.
Yeah, when they made the fire.
That's it.
What?
That
Oopsie?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
That's it.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for humoring me. So we also had a haircut in this conversation as well.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Listen,
yeah.
everyone, sometimes in the queer community, that's right, I'm the poster child. I speak for all of us. No, I just feel like I have heard other people voice that you sometimes want something to denote that you're in the queer community in some way. And you don't have to, but some people feel that way. I feel that way. And all I used to have short hair. And sometimes people think like, okay, she's gay. However, it's long now, mainly because I'm lazy. Then I thought, okay, here's a cheat code. I'll just do an undercut. And then that'll be kind of a little something. People will be like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. And now that's overgrown. And sweet Azure, who's one of our classmates, even gave me clippers and was like, here you go. Let me know if you need help. And I was like, got it. This is, as I'm just delving into the story, it gets less and less interesting. So saddle up, everybody. You're in for it.
Yeah.
So there I was, not cutting my hair.
Yeah.
Azure comes again. She's like, hey, I found these great things that can kind of like hold the rest of your hair up as you do it. I was like, awesome. I take them. I take them like the selfish leech that I am. I take them. I don't return them. It's been weeks. People offer. I say, oh, I need someone to give me a haircut. They say, hey, I'll give you a haircut. I say, okay. Nothing is done. Weeks pass by. That's right. It's been months at this point that we've been at Hugsy. Here I am, my hair overgrown, embarrassing. I get invited onto a podcast by Jason himself. He says there will be camera, visual footage.
Yes. Let's wave at the camera.
Yeah. Let the people know that this undercut is so overgrown and it's one person's fault. And that's my own. And so this is open solicitation.
Ooh.
If you, which again, several friends have been, I'll do it, Jules. Yeah. No worries. You guys are on the list too, but if anyone else also wants to just not only offer but remind me and maybe honestly like put me in a chair and just go for it, that's fine. I'm giving my full thumbs up for the go ahead. Yeah.
For another undercut?
Yeah,
or,
you can follow the line that the barber made. Yeah.
Okay.
This is really long.
Yeah.
I feel like that is the most boring story I've ever told in my life.
So I have this image in my head of you getting a haircut right now, and I'm like, okay, we need to coordinate how to...
I also want it to be like the Bugs Bunny episode, The Barber of Seville, where he goes, and then you use your paws, your hands and feet to massage my head, and I'm Elmer Fudd, and then you give me a shave. Yeah. And we do opera the whole time. That's the only way I will accept any, what do you call the if I'm soliciting, solicitees?
Yeah. Solicitees.
For the haircut.
All right. Well, you just put it out there, and so... let me know.
You can call Jason at no, don't.
You can call me
1-800
and and I will help. Yeah. So this morning I shaved my own head and
you did.
Yeah. So oh my gosh. So hair. Talking about hair. Hair has been an evolving thing for me as well, and I've lost hair, and I can still grow hair, but I didn't want to have hair missing in places. I just wanted to like go full out and say, I want to embrace this like new relationship to the lack of hair.
Love it. Bruce Willis, Jason Statham.
Yeah.
The others.
Yeah.
They all do that.
I know. I just can't, play any like Denzel Washington roles, but I can play some Samuel Jackson.
Oh,
so yeah,
that's all you need.
Yeah, The Rock.
Like millions. Yeah. They're very wealthy. So that could be you.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about the lore behind the different razors you can use. I have a couple bald friends, not to brag.
Yeah.
And they got super into it. Like I had two of them meet, and they're like, "Oh my god, I can finally talk to someone about."
It's a
All of it.
real, but what, like, I've never talked to anyone about an undercut. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, like with a ball head, I get sweaty and my caps are weird, things like that. So with
Oh,
an undercut, does that
yeah.
change anything with like how you wear things or caps or,
Yeah,
yeah.
it makes you cold underneath, which is
Hmm.
maybe a good metaphor.
Oh.
I don't know for what,
Yeah.
but and when you put it up, you
Mhm.
get cold unless you let it grow out a lot, and then you're still warm.
Yeah.
But it is really the best of both worlds.
Mhm.
Kind of like bisexuality. I'm sorry, I
Mhm.
just
No, come on. Yeah, yeah.
which you can have at different times,
Mhm.
different moods, different things,
Mhm.
and yeah, I think an undercut is a really good way to have it all,
Mhm.
like a woman in showbiz.
Yeah.
Delete me.
What?
Delete.
Yeah.
They said you can't have it all.
Yes,
Kids
yes.
and a career. There's no way.
Yes.
That's
Oh
what
my
they told me before
gosh.
leaving New York with my briefcase in hand.
Oh my
I
gosh,
know.
you are
My
a
bowler
walking
hat on.
reel. Oh my.
They said, "Get out of here. You'll never make it in Boston." I said, "I'll show you." And
Oh,
here I am to this
yes.
very day.
Have you auditioned? Like, I'm so impressed. I'm like,
I got
yes.
turned down for an
Mhm.
improv team once, and I never turned back.
What? Oh my gosh, they were missing
Oh,
out.
I never. I was so burned from that occasion that I
Mm.
became the opposite of an improviser, a scientist. No,
Yeah.
I didn't become a scientist. I could never do
Yeah.
what they do, which is handle the truth.
Yeah, right. You can. Yeah.
Nice. I heard it coming.
Yes, yes. My own laughter. Yeah. It interrupts the best of things. I once had someone tell me, you would never make a good this type of scientist because you like to go about your own way.
What, like laugh at the amoebas?
Yeah,
What did they
yeah.
say?
Or
What-
I don't know. I think just like the way in which I'm like,
like
I don't
the-
like to follow rules.
Oh,
I'm like, I
yeah.
get rules. I'm terrible at board games because I don't like to follow the rules. And so, yeah, so
Wow.
this is,
a
hot
real
take
maverick,
in,
yeah.
the School of Education where a lot of people do like board games and things like, and cards.
I've noticed that, yeah.
Yeah, which is great. But I didn't grow up playing these things. And two, I struggle with the patience, and three, I like want to change the rules. Like,
I guess we really are unearthing.
yeah,
Jason.
yeah.
That's gonna be the name of this episode.
Oh,
Unearthing Jason. Please name it that.
Okay, yes, and what?
The tables have turned.
Yes, I know.
Jason, tell me why you want to break all these rules. What is that root in your child? You don't actually have to answer this.
I have an answer, but I won't answer.
No,
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
I wouldn't actually push you to answer
Yes.
anything. But that's
Um,
great. You just make people play 52 pickup.
Yeah.
You're actually a schoolyard bully.
Well, no. I don't play because I don't want to be that. And so yeah.
Do you laugh at the people who do? You say dweeb and you have a leather jacket on?
No,
and you kinda
I just like, I'll sit, I'll hang out, I'll be in the area. And I would actually much rather be engaged in conversation and not multitask playing something, but then also be able to leave when I always want to just like, okay, I'm done with this. And
I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. It's like my daytime is enough of like scheduled things, and so I think adding in another layer.
You just want to be wild and free.
Oh.
You want to go back to the outdoors.
Oh,
The mountains are calling.
That guy, yeah, maybe, yeah.
I feel that tension.
Yeah.
I always want to drop everything and go, to a remote cabin in the woods with just one dog.
Yeah.
And a river nearby.
Yeah,
to
but not for
fish.
too long. I don't know.
10,
yeah.
20 years.
Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah.
I'll do it. I'll
A
do it tomorrow.
lifetime. Well, yeah.
Dare me. Double dog dare me right now to leave my life. Anyway, I once told my sister I was so overwhelmed with apps that she sent along several bullet-pointed argument of why I should please not throw away my phone, because she really thought I would, because of my history of just not having one, or it breaking and me not doing anything, and not having a smartphone until like 2020.
Yeah, that's a different way of living.
It was
Like,
Listen,
Yeah,
I
like-
hate technology
Yeah.
except for penicillin.
Oh,
because that's pretty important.
Yeah.
There's probably like one other thing, maybe like
well, yeah, glasses.
escalator.
I don't know.
And none of the other ones.
Yeah.
No medical equipment.
Yeah.
We're better off. This is a joke. I'm joking.
Yeah.
Okay. Technology is good in some ways. And
Wait, what
bad
program
in
are you
others.
in? Yeah.
I'm in ELOE. People think
yeah.
I'm in many of the different ones.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I guess I'm just a chameleon.
Yeah.
A belle of the ball,
Yeah.
one might say.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't say.
Yes.
I don't know. I think sometimes I'm a little bit quieter and more introspective, and then people are like HDE. And then other times I don't know what would give someone the LDIT idea. Talkative? Make a joke.
Technology. I honestly, yeah, right, yeah.
I just whisper those words, and people are like, "Are you?" I'm like, "No. I could never be."
I'm getting
Me?
some LDIT vibes here. Yeah. Yeah.
Subliminal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the scientist in you. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm ELOE. Which is the entrepreneurship track for anyone. I wonder if my mom and dad will listen to this. I bet they will. Oh my God. Oh no, what have I mentioned? No, it's all good.
It's all, yeah.
Okay.
It's been great.
And I didn't swear one time, except when I said pissed off.
And we'll bleep the other one to up to your numbers, right? Yeah.
And when I really get going later in my cuss out segment, which I'm adding to your show,
all right,
this episode.
Well, let's go to it. Yeah. So, who do you want to cuss out? Yeah.
Right here, right now.
Yeah.
Can we do a caller thing and I call someone live? No, I don't. I would hate that. I actually hate pranks. I used to be involved in the sketch comedy group here, where we would do videos, and the main thing they did was pranks. There was like a Harvard tours Yale, and someone brought Yale tourists around on a fake tour of Yale, blah, blah, blah. And I am so deeply uncomfortable with pranks because I am a coward.
Oh.
No, I just hate when people feel bad even for a second. I'm like, no, it's a joke. I'm so sorry. Like I could never. There's an oh my God, I'm just a person who references things. There's an SNL, the Maya Angelou sketch where she makes pranks. It's like, why the cage bird laughs? No, I forget.
Yeah. Admittedly, I've picking that book up. I have it still, I've put it down. I know, but the real one, the real one.
I was like, not literature.
Yeah,
SNL.
No. Yeah. My favorite. Well, actually, this is a little bit different, but to play off of SNL, my favorite Key and Peele, which what, and speaking of technology and phones, was like the misunderstanding or miscommunication skit. Have you seen that one?
I don't think so.
Oh,
let's watch it right now. I'm just kidding.
I actually
after we have plans after everybody.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
that sounds good.
Yeah. You've touched on a lot, and it's been great. And I'm wondering because the brilliance of a Harvard 2-time grad. What have I not asked? What have we not covered that you would like to talk about?
Let me think about that. Harvard, outdoors, comedy. I feel like there must be another piece of life out there. No,
somebody, anybody, help! I'm not making fun of people when they need help, but
yes, he canceled Jason. 2K.
Oh no,
23.
Yes, I can cut this.
That's true. You have the power.
So much.
No, I think those are the big things on my mind. If you're signing up for a camping trip, please read all the information. There's so much to know. I'm sorry the emails are so long. And if we can't get you on, just know that we feel really bad and ashamed that we can't take everybody. But, some institutions don't want to give money for vehicles. How many powerful institutions do you think I could put on blast in one podcast
you know,
and get canceled before I begin.
get me canceled as well.
Yes.
Yeah, get us
Ooh.
canceled.
And then we could do a pirate
Yes.
radio thing. You know, like that movie where they're on the ocean.
No,
and
what?
It's with Philip Seymour Hoffman, maybe.
Okay.
Is Tom Hanks in it? Or maybe he's in that another boat-related movie.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Don't travel
they're
with
not,
Tom Hanks.
Okay. Cards on the Table. I have not seen the film.
Mm-hmm.
It's something where like they're not allowed to have the radio station, so their little boat in the middle of the ocean where there's no legal ramifications, and then they can have their illicit radio station and they can break all the rules, and that could be us in Boston Harbor.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
Please.
Yes.
I'll do it with you.
It needs heat though. It's getting a little cool outside.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. You're right, but that's why they'll call us heroes and martyrs.
Yeah.
And they'll remember our story when we capsize immediately.
Yes. Speaking of camping trips, there is one coming up this weekend.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have not read any of the emails. I apologize.
It's okay. Then you're probably not on it.
Oh, okay.
we had to switch. Okay.
Yeah.
Prepare for another. Let's go to the boring story
Oh,
segment.
okay.
The next boring story is about how we almost had a camping trip a few weeks ago, and then there was both a hurricane and I got COVID. And the other co-organizer, McLean, shout out McLean, was in New York that weekend, so we rain checked it to this weekend. Found out that Harvard does not, in fact, pay for vehicles. Had to scramble to figure out vehicles. Are now taking maybe a 15-passenger van, and had to have people re-sign up. But give the people who had signed up first priority, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, now I think you should have gotten your email if you're on the trip. I'm about to send the waitlist email out.
Got it.
It should go out before this airs.
Wow.
It's live, you say?
Wow.
No.
Right, yeah.
But in conclusion, if you have not heard about this, you probably can't get on this time. Hopefully we'll have another, but honestly, no promises. It does get cold very quickly, so we might not until the spring.
Yeah.
But look forward to the spring in that case.
Oh, thank you so much for organizing and a collaborative effort to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love to do it. Sorry. Delete me.
I'm not going to delete you, but I'm going to ask you another question.
Okay, yeah.
What is your favorite thing or place in the Cambridge-Boston area?
Ooh, favorite thing or place? I like... What do I like? I do like simply near the Charles on campus, like right near the Hugsy campus. If you just walk to the Charles down JFK, I've had a lot of good memories there, and they light up the bridges at night, and I feel a lot of nostalgia for that area. And it's free. You don't spend any money there at all. And so I love it. And I would say that's what comes to mind first. Yeah.
Yes. It is so nice. And people hang out there watching the sun go down, and oh my gosh.
You could see people rowing, which I've always wanted to do but never have done because I can't wake up that early. I'm tired. Yeah. Yeah.
Last question. I used to ask, what does it mean to belong at the Harvard Graduate School of Education, something like that, but I think maybe even a more appropriate in thinking of all the ways in which we can know, adding, what does it feel like? What does it look like? What does it sound like, taste like? What does belonging at the Harvard Graduate School of Education mean for you?
Oh, wow. What a good question. What is it? So wait, I'm using like the sensory.
However you interpret it. I think I added those extra words into like acknowledging that people make meaning in many different ways.
Yeah. I've heard that. Belonging to me feels like, I don't know. I think it's when I feel like everyone's just so eager to help or to make things easier or to like give out appreciations and to meet each other where they're at or like actually walk the walk of being accommodating. Like, oh, what do you need? Let me do it for you. Instead of like, we're an inclusive, blah, blah, blah. And then not being, it's sort of everyone on most people I've met, if not everyone on a person to person level has been just willing to get to know you and help you out and give you the information you need. Like even on the WhatsApp chats, which granted, very overwhelming, but
yes.
Everyone's always like, there's always all these random questions that I'm like, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. Like, I have no idea. And there's always someone answering and letting people know, or just putting out like, hey, there's this thing going on.
Yeah.
And open invites, which I think is the opposite of a lot of institutions where it's like, ooh, I have my little group of friends. Now we're just going to do something. Yeah. Which isn't to say you can never do that, but there's just so much open invitation that it's feels good. It's nice to see. Everyone's willing to help.
Thank you for tuning in to the We Belong Here podcast. If you would like to be a part of the show, please reach out. My email is jasonhill@gsc.harvard.edu. Looking forward to it.